Welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for stopping by. I really appreciate it. I, of course, am Louis Porter Jr. And today we're going to talk about, does the tabletop RPG industry need a competitor for DriveThruRPG to make them better? So I know a lot of you are like, huh, what? What are you talking about? I love RPG now. Yes, and I love RPG now. I do a lot of sales on there. I think it's a good product. But I have to ask the tough question. Behind the scenes, on the back end of it, it really hasn't gotten to a point where I'm personally, at least, happy with some of the analytics I can draw from it. While it is informative, there is a lot of stuff that's just missing. And I've always been kind of like, well, why can't we do more things? And why can't we make more connections? And, they're working on it and they got other stuff to do. But at the same time, I'm like, if there was another competitor in the market that could go against them, that would force change. Because, let's be honest, when there's two competitors in the market, it gives them a great opportunity to, A, gives you the ability to choose which one is the better one for you as a user, and also it pushes the other one, wherever they might be, to make changes to make themselves better quicker. Because we all know in the game of business, competition breeds better environment for everybody. I think that most people agree that you want to get to a system where everybody can put some stuff in, make it better, and make what you're making better. Okay, so I'm always a fan of statistics and analytics. I think you can learn a lot from that. And I think that some of it's missing on DriveThru. What time did they buy my product? How did they buy? Did they buy one or two of the products? Did they buy one of my products? I want to get in the nitty gritty. Because I think once you get into that kind of stuff, you really find out what's going on. And that information isn't being relayed. I mean, there is information being relayed, but not that minute. Maybe not that precise. But I think there's an opportunity to do that kind of stuff. And I wish they would do more of that kind of stuff. But for some reason they don't. And I know I've put in requests way back in the past of things that you do, and they haven't made changes. I mean, they're busy doing other stuff. But at the same time, I'm like, they've got to make some changes, at least in my mindset, because there's got to be somebody out there who's willing to do another similar product as this. And don't get me wrong, they've cornered a market. They've got, WotC in their corner, all the major players, but the right opponent could come in and give them a challenge. I mean, lots of little small guys have done stuff, and it's not the same. You need to find someone who's willing to really look at what they're doing, examine their structure, and really go for that strategy. Because there used to be RPG Now and DriveThru. There were two competitors in the market, and DriveThru ate up the other competitor, and no one else came because they basically just took over. So I think in the long run, it's always good to get competition in a market. The more competition, the more exciting, the more potential for innovation. And when that isn't available, people kind of just lag and just, don't do much. Okay, my favorite example of this will be wrestling. If you're a fan of wrestling, I'm a fan of wrestling, but I mean up to 2000, there was a time where there was WCW, WWE, and even ECW. And we'll talk about, WCW really went after WWE and did some really smart tactics. And because of it, WWE got better. And it was actually probably one of the best times to be a fan of wrestling, is that both of them were fighting it out on the Monday Night Wars. And, it's just a lot of great wrestling happened when there was that level of competition. Then you added in ECW, that made it even more so. There's so it's what every fan wants. It's all the best stuff on at the same time, competing against each other, trying to find angles to do better stuff. And that made the product quality much, much better. Now, wrestling is only done by one place, really. It's not very good. Their direct competitor, I guess, would be UFC, which I'm a huge fan of. And UFC is kind of eating their lunch. It's like people like wrestling, and even AEW, which I think is a new up and coming, which is another smart way to do. But it's there needs to be more. I guess, okay, so in this sense, AEW, All Elite Wrestling, if I still remember, they're trying different things. They're going out. They're doing stuff. I think that's what's necessary for RPG Now. There needs to be another company coming out doing basically online PDF sales in a different way. What could make it different? What could change what we have to make it better for everybody? I don't know what it is. Tell me what you think. Do us a favor. Leave a comment below. Say that's a positive thing, maybe negative, somewhere in between. Let us know. We want to hear from you. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it, and I'll talk to you all later.